you children were weak and hungry, I took you to my bosom, fed you my oil. And even when you took and wasted and left me drained, there was always love for you in my soil. Even when my older children, they tried to shame me, setting no rules for the younger ones, bringing such grief and sadness into my household. In the end, they're still my daughters and sons. I will always be there for you.
And of course, yes, we will be always here for you on your RTT radio, the heartbeat of the Caribbean. And of course, this is where we go on the inside, courtesy of the Foundation for Human Development. We talk with Steve Williams in between this space, and it's always a pleasure. Steve, good morning to you. How are you doing?
Morning. I'm good. Truth be told, I just had a glass of wine, so I hope I sound okay.
All right, okay. You started off the day pretty well.
Well, our group, we have a Wednesday group that normally meets at 9 o'clock. So today was a little Christmas close off. So we had a little wine and a little eateries.
Yes.
Nothing much.
Celebration is good.
Yes. So we come to the end of another year. Yeah. Marching into the end of 2025. What a year it has been.
Oh, yes, it has. It has.
What a year it has been.
Mhm.
Seems like 5 years all in one.
Well, as I say, it doesn't stop, it keeps moving. Yeah.
No.
But we
But
make the best of it.
I start with gratitude that I am here, first of all.
Yeah.
That I am here in body and in mind and in spirit. And that the year, if anything else, it has been good. I mean, the challenges were there, the doubts were there, the fears were there. But the fact is that, I'm here. And that is a good sign and a blessing from God in more ways than one. So
true.
today I
So
just want to share a little bit on the Christmas itself, what the issues are for so many of us at this time of the year, and how we can deepen what I would call the connection at this time. It's a wonderful opportunity, but it's a season of great connection and also great loneliness. The two extremes exist.
Yes.
And there are very many people who live with memories of great, wonderful Christmases, and some who have memories of very painful ones at that. Some people are now starting off new families and new relationships. So it's exciting. Baby's first Christmas, buying things for baby and so on. Wonderful, beautiful. Some people have been fortunate to arrive at Christmas with all their family intact, grannies and uncles and aunts and so on. And others have not been that fortunate. We have lost many people along the way this year. People who have been close to us, people who have not been close to us. For some people, it's a painful time as well. It used to be painful because this is the exact time 12 years ago, and I remember it as though it was last week, when my mother died around this time, and we had the funeral 2 days before Christmas. It was a very difficult Christmas, I must say, a painful one at that, because Christmas for me was my mother. Although I had my own family and so on, Christmas was what she did. And Christmas Eve was spent by her. That after Mass, everybody go there and we would have punch of cream and black cake and laugh and so on. And there was a sense of great connection. Great
family.
connection. Yeah. So it was always that. And when I lost that, when my mother died, I lost it. And to me, Christmas has never been the same since then. You struggle through it and you're glad and you have your family and you have your children. I go by my daughter and she puts on a wonderful spread and so on. But sometimes we have to not live in the past. The past is over, it's done with. You can't hope that the Christmases of long ago will become the Christmases of today. This doesn't work out that way. And so you don't have to live in the present, you have to live in the now. And if you don't, you become disconnected. I want to talk about that connection today because, in its simplest form, when you're connected, you feel a part of something. You feel connected to something. There's Brené Brown refers to this connection in her Gifts of Imperfection. She says, she defines it as the energy that exists between people when they feel seen and heard and valued. That's what I felt. That's what I felt. When they can give and receive without judgment, and when they derive sustenance and strength from the relationship. That is what connection, deep connection really is. And we today, don't mind we're the most connected generation in the world, we are also the most disconnected generation at the same time. So we are in one another's throat and face and eyes and ears almost immediately by the press of a knob, press of a number, 3 and 4, and you can be on to somebody's face, whether they're in Australia or whether they're right here. So there's a tremendous amount of connection, but this connection is not deep. A lot of it is superficial, it's on the surface. And we long for that deep connection with someone who will make us feel seen and heard and valued and receive and give without judgment. The most important is without judgment. If you think back at the number of people in your life who fit into that category of a deeply connected person, you may come up with one or none. Because sometimes even the person you're living with, you feel judged, always judged by them, That's how you're doing that? That's what you're thinking? And you never feel a sense that we are there and I'm with you and you're in me kind of thing, Now, I'm not saying that we don't correct each other, but you can correct each other without the kind of bitterness and the acrimony that happens so much of putting down someone. In a relationship, you're putting the person down by your comments and your words. That creates disconnection because I have nothing to tell you again. If that's what making me feel, there's no point in my sharing anything deeply affecting me with you. I will keep what I have to myself, or I will share it with somebody else who may be more willing to listen. So in a sense, we have to work out how do we become deeply connected? How do we remain connected? This season, which is a Christmas season of wonderful, what we call peace and sharing and giving of gifts and all that. Some of it is nice and some of it is very superficial. And some you still don't feel the connection. You don't feel that kind of beat, that bonding with someone who deeply cares for you and vice versa. And there are ways we can increase this connection. There are ways we can allow the season to become more of something. And the first way is to be present physically. It means that you're there. You're there for others. They can count on your physical presence, your heartbeat, your gentle touch, your warm embrace. They can count on it. Now, yes, you say you're there, but many of us were there physically, but we're not there, We just sit down there, we on our phone, we reading something, we in the kitchen cooking up a storm, we're doing all kinds of things, but we're not there for anybody physically. And one of the things I've decided to do for this Christmas actually is to go and visit people who have not been well for this year and who I know, whether they're friends or not. I'm going to bring a physical presence. Now, it's easy to send a WhatsApp message, which I've been doing through the year. It's easy to make a phone call. You just say, how you going? How things? Oh, you taking the medication? What did doctor say? And so on. And that's fine. And that's another way of being present. But when you're deeply connected to someone, you sit next to a person. You sit in a chair, and that person is sitting on that chair, and you look at each other in your eyes, and you say, I'm here to spend an hour with you. And you talk all kinds of things, and you laugh and you cry together, and you share pain together, and you share joy together. That means more, a million more than any kind of WhatsApp message that you could send, or all these fake messages that you send, Happy Christmas, Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, and so on, which means nothing to anybody. So the physical presence is the key to bringing a deep connection. Now think about it even at home. Think about it with a lovely couple. You're there together. Yes, you're busy and you're buying all the things, and everybody's throwing in the presents and the cake and the this and the that and so on, and whatever needs to be done. And it's a magical time for that kind of thing. But sometimes they fail to sit quietly, put on some nice Christmas music, and just have a glass of nice wine. For some people, it might be a cup of tea, those who are non alcoholic. And you just sit with a glass of cold coconut water with each other, whatever the case may be. And you just enjoy that moment, maybe an hour, maybe 2 hours of togetherness. That goes a million miles more than anything. You can't get away from that. You can't bring back that memory. That stays forever. So it is important that you find the space and the time to be physically present. Another way of connecting is you connect mentally, and you hold others in your mind and in your thoughts and awareness. You are in my thoughts, you tell them. Now, this is really for the people who you can't be physically present with. They live abroad. You have uncle in the States and auntie and so on. So maybe your mother is abroad, maybe your grandmother is somewhere else, and people who are family and people who are not family or friends who are distant from you, physically distant from you. And though you can do a wonderful video call on Christmas Day and other times and so on, and all that works well, that is good. It's important sometimes to say to somebody, I have you in my thoughts. It goes a long way. You know how that was meaningful to me? I remember when I was sick and somebody called and they said, Steve, don't worry, I have you in my thoughts and I have you in my prayers. I felt so good. It made me feel so connected to that person. Just to say the words. So sometimes we have to find those words in order to connect with people who are distant, necessarily physically distant. It could be right down the road. It could be in Grandi. It could be in California, right across the road there in Shoguanas. The important thing is to mentally connect to these people and let them know you're doing that for them. The big one, of course, is to be present emotionally. Now, there's a thing that they say, I call it, I learned this from a young man. Used to go by some Hindu people for Diwali and so on, and the greeting was Namaste. And that means the God in me honors the God in you. And that is what to be present emotionally is about. It's I know you and I'm honoring you, whoever you are, and for whatever you are. And when you are emotionally present to someone, it means you're vulnerable, you're real. Now, think of the number of people in your life who are not real. They're not real. They wear all kinds of masks. How you going? Everything all right? How's the family? How the children? And so on. Yes, wonderful. And everybody gives a nice answer one way or the other. And that's fine. But to be present emotionally is to allow yourself to be real and vulnerable with others. To hold a safe and loving space for them to be themselves without trying to change them or to heal them. or to fix them. And that is what being present emotionally is. Now, we don't get there. We don't get there with a lot of people. We are present. The emotions that we allow them to see would be some joy, some anger, and maybe some resentment. And we allow them to see those emotions. But for many people, we're not vulnerable. I'm not vulnerable to a lot of people. They don't know me. They think they know me. They don't know anything about me. They don't know what I'm feeling, and I get up in the morning, don't know what I'm feeling during the course of the day. They have no. I grin and skin and laugh with people, but is one or two people who will get that vulnerability from me, who they could just part the waters and say, "Oh, that's the real Steve. I now see and understand who he really is," and that doesn't happen very often. When you are deeply connected with someone, you allow them to see you and you can see them without judgment and without trying to fix them. We have a tendency, and men particularly, we have a tendency, we want to fix people. We always need to correct people, make it right, and right according to our standards and not theirs. We have to make it right. And so we go on and on with that over and over all the time. So sometimes it is not good to do some of that. So to be present emotionally with someone is to allow that person to open yourself up. And this is something you do quietly. This is not a loud connection. You can't do that every day with everybody, all your co-workers on the job, in the office, and so on. No, 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 no. That's not how it works. It works when you can deeply connect with someone. And what I'm hinting at here all the time, in all of these levels of connection, is the fact that you can find one or two people in your life. Now, when you find someone and you're disconnected from that person and you're living in a house with that person, you cannot be but be miserable. You are unhappy because our souls long for connection with others. And when you cannot do that, when you can't bring yourself to be vulnerable, when you cannot bring yourself to be open, because you say, see me, if I say that, she say that. If I say that, he say that. I can't take that on. So, let me stay by myself. I have nothing to say. So you eat together, you laugh together, but you are lonely inside. You're lonely people. And we fail to build the connection. Now, to build the connection, one must sit and say, listen, we need to do this differently. We can't go on living like this. We can't. You living in your world, I living in my world. We can't do that. We need to open the lines of connection, not just communication, of connection, both physically, and you say, okay, every Tuesday, we're going to sit together. I'll send you a little note mentally. We have to do that, and so on. And the final level of connection is spiritual, of course. And the spiritual connection is a witness to the other's existence, you honor the spirit, the God in that person. You honor the divine in that person. That means you recognize, I have a divine in me, you are divine, we are both divine beings, and as a result of that, we can honor each other. And that is what the spiritual connection is. Not about saying prayers and so on. You will want to say prayers together. That's fine. You may want to say prayers separately. That's also fine. But you both recognize that there is a power and energy that is higher than both of you. And this power and this energy guides both of you. And that is what the spiritual connection is all about. That is what it is. So how do we do all of this? Well, we start with openness and respect. We start with openness and respect. If we can't, that's the bottom line. If you can't start with a sense of respect for the other person and a sense of openness, forget it. You go ahead, do what you're doing, I go ahead, do what I'm doing. And when the time comes, we finish quarreling enough and we argue enough and so on. We will get drunk and drink and so on, be happy, and then we move on again. And we continue living. And that's fine. But if you really want, which we all long for, I long for it, everybody longs for it. If we long for this kind of connection, then it would be easy for us to begin to solve the difficulties that happen in all of us. Now, we all have difficulties. And there are days when I am down, I am just not feeling it. And there are days when you're down and you're not feeling it. And when you can communicate that to someone without judgment, and they can say, "Oh my God, I know you're having a hard day today. You know what? I'm going to keep you in my thoughts. If you need to talk, I'll be available at 1 o'clock. I have a little break then. Call me and we'll talk a little bit." That's connection. That's connection. You have to show interest in the other person's beliefs and values and their dreams. You know, a lot of people don't share their dreams with their partners for reasons I don't know why. They're just afraid that the dream will be shut down and so on. But when you sit with someone, I mean, you can't be in a relationship for a whole year and not sit at the end of the year at some point in time. Okay, you're going to a nice Olias fete and so on, la 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 la, dance and so on, drink and be happy. But you can't sit together, even if it's with your children, and say, "What was the year like for you? What are some of the things that you got going good for you? What are some things you did not achieve?" You share with each other. You share your dreams and your values. There's no couple that can survive well without doing that. You choose a day, Old Year's Day, New Year's Day, 2 days before, and you sit together and you share that kind of undertaking where you can say to each other, "This is what I'm looking forward to next year." You know, not no big list. "I want a washing machine, and this year the washing machine ain't working good, and this year, next year, I want to get this." And I think, no, they're not about washing machine and microwave oven and so on. Those things will come par for the course. What you want to share is you. What are you doing for yourself for the next year? How are you going to improve yourself spiritually? How are you going to improve yourself mentally? How are you going to improve yourself educationally? And share your ideas. So, you know what, next year, I'm thinking I want to do a little course on something, I'm thinking I want to do that. What I want to do next year is this and that. And you sit and you open yourself with your dreams and your ambitions to your partner. That is what it's all about. That's what the closing of the year is about. It's nice to have Prosecco, as much as I enjoy it myself, but it's also nicer to be able to deeply connect with someone so that you feel a sense of fulfillment in your life going forward and looking forward. You have to ask meaningful questions that go beyond the surface level conversation topics. Leave the topics for little Christmas parties and so on, where people talk about this and talk about that, and they talk about Trump and talk about politics and the camera and the this and the that and the that and the that. Okay, it's wonderful conversation, and everybody has an opinion, and there's an opinion, and yours and mine, and none of us right. But at the same time, we have to go beyond the outside. We have to go on the inside, which is what the program is about. You have to go on the inside in order to work through your own deeper sense of what you would like for you, your purpose for existing in this world for another year, and what your contribution to this world is going to be like for another year. And be generous. Lastly, always be generous. Be generous with your appreciation for their presence. It is a wonderful thing. And I end by saying that myself. I'm deeply grateful and for the opportunity to share these ideas and some of these experiences of my own that I share with you. I have an opportunity to do that. And by doing so, in a sense, I'm deeply connected in one way or the other with you. So always be generous with your gratitude to anyone in your life. And there's a season for that too. Don't forget to say, let it be said in words. Not let it be said only in gifts, but let it be said in words. Words. I am really happy to have you in my life. God bless that you have come into my life. You know how powerful those words are? You know how powerful those words are when you said that to someone? Very powerful those words are. So Let us try and work that out. And I will pause at this point and I'll allow people to comment on their own levels of connection.
Okay, so people, the lines are open to you. 281 1315. That's 281 1315. You can get in on the conversation now. We talk with Steve Williams, and we are here courtesy of the Foundation for Human Development. And of course, a very interesting topic, Steve, because just today I was actually kind of encouraging people, in a way it's kind of connected. I feel, yeah, about the rough days, the bad days. We all have them.
Yes.
Things happen very much unexpected. So life sometimes it's going good, and then you just hit a bump in the road,
Mm-hmm.
and
Mm-hmm.
and just add like when when you hit that bump, sometimes you just need some sort of connection. Somebody
Yes.
be there to recognize that what I can be here from you for you, and I think in a lot of cases, what I'm hearing that you're saying is, just be present sometime with somebody.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Just be there,
Mm-hmm.
um,
Just be there.
yeah. And sometimes that is the best support. Sometimes that is all somebody needs, just to know
It's all
that you are
somebody
there.
needs. Yeah, we all so busy, you know. I drop in, I show my face. I don't show a face.
Hmm.
Don't bother to bring no face to show me. I could see a face on a video. If you come in, come and sit and laugh and talk and share with me. And when you leave in, give me a hug. I give you a hug. We'll embrace. And I thank you for that. I don't know if I'll see you again. And you don't know if you'll see me again.
And that is so true, because sometimes things happen in such a way, and sometimes when you don't take the opportunity also to make that time and that connection, and then you hear, something else happens, the person is no longer there.
Yeah.
You feel so torn up inside.
Yes, you do.
So sometimes to avoid that, sometimes you just have to rest it down, whatever you're doing. And if you know you're supposed to go, because we have this way, boy, since last week or last month, I'm supposed to pass and check it. I ain't reach here.
Yes. Yes.
When you
Oh,
reach
you
it
know
too
it
late.
well. You know it well.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
get it all the
that
time.
is how we do it, but get connected. Um,
Mhm.
I think, as I said, just be present and listen. If the person want to talk, they will talk. But
Yes.
sometimes when we are there too, Steve, we just feel that we should say some kinds of things.
Yeah.
Sometimes we dismiss people's hurt, pains, what they're going through by saying,
Mhm.
things like, "Don't worry, that shake it off now, man. Relax."
Yes.
That
Yeah.
that
Yeah. That
that
will
makes
pass, man. Everything that's pass.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, you could get through that. Forget that.
Yes, I like that. Yeah, you could get through that. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
And
So,
you think you're doing encouraging, but really and truly, the people we need to grieve. We need to hurt. And
yeah,
we need to stay in that grief and that hurt.
yeah. Well, Steve, let's leave it there for this morning. We didn't get the calls you're looking for coming through, but we leave it there for this
Yeah.
morning. So, as we head deeper into the Christmas season, I don't know when are you all going straight through the Christmas, or
No, no, no. We close off. We had a little prosecco this morning.
right this
So
morning? So, the foundation is so they will be able to get you all at the office.
yes, yes. So
Yeah.
people can get us. I mean, we do counseling, and Christmas is a very heavy time for a lot of people. So we make ourselves available for the counseling part of it. So
Okay.
people
Well,
can
tell
still
people how to get
call.
in contact with you then.
So we are. You can WhatsApp us at 482-6500, or you can get us at email, which is foundationhd@gmail.com.
Okay. Well, Steve, thank you very much.
You're
And of
welcome.
course, looking forward to talking with you
And
again
have a good one for the year, and we will join God willing in the new year.
in the new year, right? So you have a great season, a great Christmas with your family, and looking forward to talking with you in January, God's willing. All right. Take care.
There's no Christmas like Christmas on New Era TT Radio.
Laughing children tug at Mr. Santa. Teddy bears.
Feel the laughter, the lights, the love. That's what Christmas feels like.
Christmas Eve, casually I was walking down the street. One Christmas Eve, casually
We keep the joy alive and the music playing all season long. Merry Christmas from your friends at New Era TT Radio, taking you above and beyond.
Merry Christmas, everybody!
Illas barrancas y apunte, hay de apure, Gavilán,